Hello everybody, welcome to this new episode on EnglishTube. Today we're going to deal with a very important and interesting grammar lesson, which is, as you can see here, simple present verb endings. Great, so as you know, a verb in simple present sometimes takes S at the end, sometimes ES and sometimes IES. And this has, of course, got, let's say, plenty of rules that we have to, grammar rules that we have to master. So, first of all, we should notice here that the addition of S or ES or IES at the end, let's say, of a verb in simple present has two basic conditions first. The first one is that the subject, if we notice the following sentences that we have here, the subject is either she, he, or it. As you got here, Amin fixes his bike every weekend. So you got here the subject of the sentence is Amin. So Amin here, the equivalent subject pronoun or personal pronoun is he. And you got here another example, Leila goes to school every morning. So the subject of the sentence here is Leila. So the equivalent pronoun here is she. And we have another example, let's take the last one. The bee buzzes and the dog barks. So you got the bee is the subject in the first part, let's say the first sentence here. We've got a combination of two sentences, and the dog again is the subject of the second sentence. So the dog and the bee, these are animals and insects and so on, so the equivalent subject pronoun is it. So for us to add S or ES or IES at the end of the verb, the subject should first of all be either he, she, or it. This is the first condition. The second condition is, as you can see here, we've got the verbs fixes, goes, watches, kisses, washes, and then buzzes, and then barks. So these are verbs, they are put in simple present. Okay, so this is the second condition. The verb should be in simple present so that it can take, let's say, in addition, of course, to the pronouns that we talked about, the pronouns should be either he, she, or it, so that we can add S or ES or IES. So in this lesson, we're going to discover and see when should I add S or ES or IES at the end, let's say, of the verb. So let's study the following sentences together, and then we are going to determine the verb base, or what we call the root of the verb, before it is conjugated. And we're going to see the verb endings, okay? Because, right, the verb ending has to do exactly with let's say, the last letters, let's say, the last letter or letters, let's say, of the verb base. So let's study it and start with the first sentence here. We've got Emily fixes his bike every weekend. So where is the verb base here? The verb base is fix. This is the base, let's say the verb, or the root of the verb before it is put in a particular tense. And the last letter, as you see here, the last letter of the verb base is fix, right? So you can put it here, the last letter is fix. Great. And the verb endings, as you can see here, that we have added right after we put the, let's say, the verb in simple present, of course, after the subject pronoun he, or let's say in this situation, right here. So we have, let's say, the verb endings. We have added, let's say, yes, right? Good. Let's move on to the second sentence. We got here, Leila goes to school every morning. This is the habit, it's a custom to this, let's say, activity. Leila goes to school every morning. So the verb base here again, or the root is go, right? And as you see here, the verb ending, or the last letter, let's say, of the verb, if we're talking about the verb ending, the last letter of the verb base is O, right? Great. And again, the verb ending is ES, okay? We have added ES, let's say, at the end, let's say, of the verb. After, let's say, the subject pronoun she, or the name, let's say, the proper noun, Leila, right? Let's move on. But number 3, my father watches television at night. My father watches television at night. The verb base here is watch, right? Now, I want you to tell me what are the two last letters of the verb base. The two last letters are C and H, okay? You got C and H. And the verb ending again is ES, okay, at the end, right? So let's see again and move on to number 4. She kisses her baby before he sleeps, or it sleeps, right? So forget about the second verb. We've got here a combination of two sentences. However, we're going to consider also for the first verb. So the root of the verb here, kisses, we've got is kiss, okay? And as you see here, the last letter, or two letters, let's see, of the verb base is S or WS, okay? So let's put it here, S and sometimes WS, right? It doesn't matter, it's the same. Okay, so the rule again, we should add ES at the end, let's say the verb, as the verb ending, right? So let's move on to number 5. Number 5 here we got, my mother washes my dirty clothes. God bless my mother anyway. My mother washes my dirty clothes. So we got here the verb base is wash, right? Okay, so the last two letters, let's see, the verb base is S and H. S and H. Okay, let's note it down here. SH, right? And the verb ending that we have added is always ES, right? The last sentence right now, the last first part of the sentence, or about the second part, the bee buzzes, okay? The bee buzzes. Right, so you got the side next here, the bee. It means it's, right? It's non-human, right? And the verb base here is buzz, right? So the two, or the first, the last letter anyway, but the verb buzz here is either Z or WZ. Whenever you have Z or WZ at the end of a verb, in addition to let's say the subject's pronoun should be he, she, or it, okay? We should have, let's see at the end again, ES as a verb ending, okay? In simple present. This is very important, okay? Right, so now on the basis, let's see, on these sentences, we can have right now the rule, okay? So the rule, we should add ES at the end of a verb after the pronouns he, right, she, or it. It's not necessary to have he, she, and it, right? You can have, let's say, their equivalents. You can, instead of he, you can have a me, or my father, or whatsoever, okay? Or instead of she, you can have Layla, Amina, or whatsoever, my sister, my mother. And then it, whatever, it's maybe an animal, or just something concrete and so on. Right, third person singular for non-human things and so on. Right, so whenever you have these subject pronouns followed by a verb in simple present, then we should add ES if the verb ends either in X, if the verb base, or in O, or if it ends in CH, or SH, or S or WS, or Z or WZ, okay? So in this situation, or in these situations, we can add ES at the end of the word. Let's move on and study the following sentences. We have 3 sentences here, and right now we're going to see and discover the rule, when should I add S at the end of a verb in simple present. Let's start with the sentence number 1 here. We have Saeed likes reading stories. Where is the verb here? The verb is like. Very good. That's the verb base. Great. And this last letter of the verb, what is it? It is E. Great. So whenever you have E at the end of a verb in simple present, after the pronouns he, she, and it, we should add, as a verb ending, we should add S. Right? Good, let's move on. The earth turns around the sun. The verb here again is turns. And the verb base is turn, right? So the last letter here is N. And N, is it a consonant or a vowel? Yes, very good. It is a consonant, right? So whenever you have a consonant at the end, of a verb in simple present after he, she, and it, we should add S, right? At the end, let's say, of the verb in simple present, right? Let's move on to number 3. Layla stays at home every afternoon. Layla stays at home every afternoon. The verb here is stays, and the verb base is stay. Okay, this is the verb. This is the verb base. We've got stay. So if you notice here, the verb stay ends in Y. Okay, it ends in Y, and before Y there is the letter A. The letter A is a vowel. It is not a consonant, it is a vowel. So whenever you have Y at the end of a verb preceded by a vowel, right? Preceded by a vowel, the basic vowels that we know are O, E, I, U, and right, A. Right, these are the basic canon vowels that we have, 5 basic vowels, okay? Single vowels. So in this situation, if you have Y preceded by a vowel, the verb ending is S. We should add S at the end, okay? Of the verb after, of course, he, she, and it in simple present. So this is, let's say, the rule. Let's see, for the same case, we add S at the end of a verb in simple present after he, she, and it, whenever the verb ends in E, or ends in consonant, or ends in Y, preceded by either of the following letters. That's it for right now, and let's move on to the third case and the last one. Great, let's deal with the last case right now, which is when to add IES at the end of a verb in simple present. Great, let's study the following sentences. We have 1, 2, and then number 3. Number 1, she studies English at a language center. Number 2, Omar carries the bag for his father. 3, my little brother cries when he is hungry. Great, let's start with number 1. She studies English at a language center. Again, where is the verb root here? The verb root is not stat. It is not stat. It is study. This is the verb root. The root of the verb is originally study. And the verb ending here is IES. This is the third case, IES. Right. Now, as you see here, the verb root is steady. So we got the last letter of the verb here is Y. It is originally Y. Okay? And Y here is preceded by the letter D. And the letter D is a consonant. So whenever you have a consonant followed by the letter Y, what do we do here? As you notice, we have omitted, let's say Y, and we have added IES. Whenever you have Y preceded by, let's say, a consonant, okay? Great. So I should, in this case, I should add IES. Let's move on to number 2. Omar carries the bag for his father. Great. The verb here, again, is not car, but it is originally carried, okay? It is originally carried, which means you have Y at the end, preceded by a consonant, which is, in this case, R, the letter R. So again, whenever you have Y preceded by a consonant, we should again add IES. The same is like the first one. Number 3, my little brother cries when he is angry. So the verb root here is not cur, it is cry. This is the root normally, the original, the origin of the verb, or the verb base. So you got here the verb cry ends in Y, and it is preceded by a consonant, which is R in this case. So whenever you have Y at the end again, preceded by a consonant, okay, so in this case, we should omit Y, right? We should cross and delete Y and then add IES as a replacement. Is that alright right now? So all the three sentences are about one rule, which is we add IES at the end of a verb when there is Y at the end, okay, preceded by a consonant. So maybe R, D, K, whatever consonant. So this is the, let's say, third, case, as you see. So just as a summary right now, we're going to sum up all what we say, the three cases in this area, and say that's a verb for a verb to take S or IES or ES first, or IES, for a verb to take S at the end, or ES or IES, and these are verb endings. So there are two conditions again. Let's recapitulate. There must be, first of all, the pronoun he, she, and it at the beginning, right? There must be he, she, it as a subject pronoun at the beginning. Or Layla again, Amina, my sister, Ahmad, my father, Omar, whatsoever, and then it to maybe an animal, dog, or a pen, or whatsoever thing. So the second condition is the verb should be in simple present, a verb, right? In simple present. Then we can add S or ES or IS. S, as we said before, okay, let's recapitulate again. We add ES, right, when the verb ends in CH, right, when the verb ends in E or in a consonant. So in this case, or in these two cases, we add S at the end of a verb. We add ES when the verb ends in CH or ISH or O or S or double S, Z or double Z. Okay, so in these situations, we add ES at the end of the verb. And in IES, we have one case when the verb ends in Y preceded by a consonant. There is a third case here for the addition of S at the end. We had E at the end, or a consonant, or Y, but in this case preceded by a vowel. Great. So this is a summary, let's say, for the verb endings in simple present. I hope that you get exactly the lesson and you have understood a little bit, right, all the rules that we dealt with today. So thank you for watching.